Hello all, welcome to this lecture. The objective of today's video is to help you to rather guide you to read the Hindu paper. So most of us have the habit of following a daily news analysis video. So my question is, when you can do it yourself, why follow the analysis done by others? Welcome, the Hindu paper, January 20, 2021. So before I move on to the main part of the video, I would urge you to read the newspaper first and then get back, because then only you will be able to follow what I am telling. So I will not follow the conventional way of many YouTubers who just say follow the news analysis. Reading the newspaper is not necessary. I would request you, in fact I would urge you to read the newspaper first and then come back. Prerequisites according to me: handwritten syllabus, both prelims and mains. Please have a handwritten syllabus, not a PDF, not a copy of it. Please have a handwritten syllabus of the prelim syllabus and the main syllabus and your optional. Copy of the newspaper, whether you have it have an online or offline copy. Past year question paper from 2013 to 20. And very importantly, have an open mind, because having a subjective mind will terribly impact your opinion. So with this, I would like to start with the newspaper analysis. Imagine that you have the paper in front of you. The first page paper is usually pertaining to very important happenings that took place in the previous day. Mostly if it is related to politics, then you read the headlines and then you can skip the article. But if it is related to very important news pertaining to judiciary or executive, then please go through it. But I would always have the strategy of reading the editorial, the OPED column first, and then get back to other parts of the newspaper. So I will also start. You can choose a method which is preferable for you, whether you go with the starting part of the newspaper and then to the editorial, or start with the editorial and go and read the other parts of the newspaper. So I've started with the editorial. So my strategy is to help you identify the key points in the newspaper, what is relevant for your preparations. As you all know, the entire newspaper is not going to be asked in the exams. What is that you have to identify, and how will that part of the newspaper enhance your preparation, enhance your content in terms of mains answers. So this article in the newspaper related to India-Nepal relation in new transition. So once you read the headline, identify which part of the syllabus it belongs to. So I have identified as GS2, India and Neighborhood. New Delhi is comfortable with some changes as its Nepal policy is heading towards deeper engagement with all sections. I hope you have read this article. So I have read this article and I've grouped the information based on certain subheadings. So I've identified as recent developments, the points here. Then what are the internal problems in Nepal, the points here, and what is the way forward. And this is the first part. The first part is to identify what part of the syllabus does it belong to. So I have identified it as GS2, India and Neighborhood. Second, read the article and then identify the important points. Third, if possible, try to frame a question for that article. What is that question? The answers to the article is trying to answer. For example, it could be in this case it could be analyze the significance of India-Nepal relations. So if that is a question, this article might be the answer. So why I'm trying to tell you to frame a question is because, as you all know, that mains is all about writing your answers rather than dumping the information that you know. So writing a context specific answer comes with practice. So when you know that this is the type of content to be written for this type of question, you're going in a reverse engineering way. Rather than writing the question and then reading the article, what you're doing is a reverse engineering way, where you read the article and then try to identify what type of a question will be suitable for this particular article. So I hope I'm making this point clear. I will reiterate what I'm telling. First and foremost, identify the syllabus topic, where the syllabus with this article is pertaining to which part of the syllabus. Second, read the article, write, preferably underline, or if you're reading it online, highlight the important points, and If possible, also try to group the points. For example, I've grouped it under the heads of recent development, internal problems, and thirdly, if possible, try to frame a question. So this strategy we are going to apply in almost all the articles. So top of the heap. So when you read this article, if you again get back to your syllabus, if you feel if it is related to the syllabus, then read it. If it is not needed, then either you skip the article or give a casual reading just to understand, because most of us, this article is something related to cricket. So since most of us are die-hard fans of cricket, you might be tempted to read it. So you go ahead and read it, but nothing pertaining to the exam. In bad faith, again, this is give it a casual reading, because this is more related to the politics part of it, which is not necessary for your preparations. This is an interesting article on judiciary, a plaintive lament on liberty that rings a halo. An example shows the judiciary callous attitude at every level towards human liberty is destruction of the rule of law. So once I read the headline, I identified it as GS2 topic, Indian judiciary. Then once I read the article, I've underlined the important points and I framed this question: what is the need for judicial reforms? So the same 3 steps, I urge you to do it again for this article. Cooking Up a Storm, a new film that shows its individual instructions that could prove critical in challenging hegemony. So once I've read this article, I've identified it as GS1 topic, Indian society, media and social change. And once I read the article, and this was my question: comment on the influence of patriarchy or the influence of media in the society. So as you can see, I've grouped this under introduction part. I've identified the issues of male patriarchy, hegemony over women. So this article is from the I've taken from the statistics part. So if in case your hobby is interview and you are going to give if in case your hobby is cricket and in the interview detail application form you are giving cricket as your hobby, then this article you might find interesting. So I have taken this article from the archives part. So you can find this article from the right corner of the newspaper. So sometimes in prelims, history related questions comes from this article. So from that angle, this course is going to be useful. A stress test for American democracy. So this is a casual reading article because this does not talk about Indian polity, but it talks about American democracy. I would not recommend you to read it, but if in case you want to have an awareness over America and you're keenly interested in US-India relationship, then go ahead, read it, but not necessarily it is related to the syllabus. This is a very important article. Sometimes there are newspaper columns which give you a complete understanding of a subject. This is one such article, The Threat of Deep Fakes. We need artificial intelligence-backed technological tools to detect the unreal. So once I read the headline, I knew it was GS3 Science and Technology. I read the article. I identified what are the informations that it can be grouped under. So I identify issues, hard to detect, etc., etc. Then I've also identified the way forward. And this was my conclusion part as far as I read, as deep fakes evolve, AI-based technological tools to detect and prevent them also evolve. Once I read the article, this was the question that I framed. What is deep fake? Identify the issues and suggest measures. See, I have framed the question in such a way that this article answers the question. So this is what I call it as reverse engineering. You do the reverse process. Instead of reading the question, writing the answer, now understand that this is your answer. You have to frame the question. So your mentality should be that of the question framer, the person who's framing the question. So in this case, you will have a greater depth over or a greater grip over the structure of the answer. So all this I'm giving information for the mains part. So I'll also come to discuss how prelims notes also will be taken. Expression of views, not bias. So these are statements made by important personalities. For example, here the statement was made by the Chief Justice of India. So have a general awareness of such important statements made. So this might be helpful in answering some of your essay questions or ethics questions. tusker entangled in fishing nets rescued from reservoir. So this article gave me an important part of Bantipur Tiger Reserve. So as you all know, UPSC has a very hot and favorite part in national parks and and tiger reserves. So you have to, whenever such national parks or tiger reserves are presented in the newspaper, you have to take a note of it. So once you read this article on Bandipur Tiger Reserve, go to your atlas, whether it is Oxford Atlas or whether you're using your online format. See, identify where is Bandipur Tiger Reserve. General location, what are the areas that is surrounding it? Is there any river running through it, or are there any keystone species that is located in this reserve? So in this aspect, you will be able to cover from the prelims point. So this article of Dr. V. Shanta, the chairman of Adyar Cancer Institute. So these I would strongly recommend to read inspirational stories of great personalities. So why is because you will be able to quote these case studies in your ethics answer. So ethics is all about writing human values, morals, and such people who have lived great life will add enrichment to your content and also for your individual life as well. And in essay, some of us have the practice of starting with a small short story. So lives of such great people also can add an important value to your essay. India to fly out vaccine to neighbors. Again, I have identified it as GS2 international relations. So this also is an important diagram. So not the answer writing part is not only pertaining to how you frame the content, it is also about how you structure the content, how you present the content. So this is an interesting diagram where it shows India transporting vaccines to all its neighborhood countries. So when you draw such diagrams in one part of your answer, it also adds value to your content. So such diagrams also take note of. India asks WhatsApp to revoke changes in its privacy policy. So privacy policy, WhatsApp, something related to science and technology. So you can read the article for greater awareness on that. Military specialist to get S-400 training in Moscow. Note what S-4, whenever some articles come related to defense or some submarines or missiles, note what is it, where it is coming from, and how is it going to help the defense infrastructure. So this S-400, to note for prelims, it is a long-range air defense system. We are getting it from Russia, and how is it going to enhance our defense system. You can also note such keywords for prelims. Netaji birth anniversary to be celebrated as Parakaram Divas. So you can note it for prelims. So this is again a location-based question where I have sourced it from international part of the newspaper. Sudan troops deployed in Darfur after clashes. So whenever such countries or cities are mentioned, especially in the West Asia part or in the Africa part, please get back to your Oxford Atlas or whatever atlas you're following and see where it is located. Is it surrounded by any seas? Is it surrounding by any oceans, or is it landlocked? So these are the things that you have to look for. UN calls on Israel to halt work at West Bank. West Bank, I did again go back, see where is West Bank. There is something related to two-state solution. So also I would like to tell you, if in case you come across such words, so you do not know what is two-state solution, you do not know what is this Darfur mentioned, please type Darfur, at the end of it mention UPSC. So content which is very relevant for you comes up. You need not go hunting for it in Wikipedia pages, in Google pages. Type the name which you are unfamiliar with, and at the end of it, type UPSC. So content that is relevant or what you're looking for appears. So native 5G model must to aid education, agriculture and healthcare. So if in case you do not know 5G, again apply the same technique that I told you, 5G, UPSC. So sometimes the content will be in such a way that you will have points for it, against it, what are the measures, what is the way forward. You will have a complete answer. India must remain a part of global economy, open, essential to expand at 9 to 10%, says Amitav Kant, who is the Niti Aayog CEO. So again, I told you, statements made by important personalities do matter in your answers. So you can see how this article talks about how exports will contribute to economic growth. So this is the crux of the content. So in this analysis, we've come to the end of this. In this analysis, I have taught you how to identify the syllabus topic, what are the content that is to be taken, and frame a question. So next part of the video, we will talk about how to take notes for prelims, how to take notes for mains, and how to organize digital notes. How digital notes is going to help you for quick revision, time saver, as well as more efficient. So this is going to be the second part of the video. I hope you all like the video. Please give it, if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Do like it, share it, subscribe, and also the PDF of the file is also attached in the description below. If there's anything else that you would like to clarify on, please comment and let us know. Thank you.